Growing up with the internet, you're just doomed to see some horrific things. Things of horror and torment that you see at a very young age. I can remember the first time I saw that gif of the machine just tearing that poor. Anyway, I'm not so much talking about running the gauntlet or something like that. And if you don't know what that is, you're lucky. I'm talking about jumping into darker, more condensed side. Stumbling across dark and disgusting images really just makes you wonder, why the hell does this even exist? Is it simply for the gore factor? And if only that was the case. Because today I'm going to be covering something just like that. It's been around for ages, but it's only really popping up in Western media around now. And this is it. Not too bad. One would think that this isn't actually even too disgusting an image. Sure, there's a bit of it's blurred for a reason, but it's simply just a woman who is an amputee. Oh, she doesn't have teeth or ears or eyes or any of her limbs. Meet the limbless girl. You might have seen this image on Instagram, Twitter, hell, you might have even seen it on LinkedIn. It's usually used in a sarcastic way about having to wait in line for your Starbucks coffee, this is how you feel sort of vibe. But the story behind the actual image isn't really just used for meme work, it's kind of gross. To understand the background of this thing, we actually have to go all the way back to 2009. I'm not about naming names here, mainly because I can't pronounce names, I'm dyslexic as hell. But if you want to know, the information's out there. A digital artist uploaded the first illustration of this character to a Japanese image board. The original piece was even more graphic, depicting the girl being beaten and brutally dismembered. Lovely. The grotesque nature of these images isn't sitting with me too well. I find it deplorable. But they quickly gained a reputation, and it's due to this soul-crushing, depressed nature of the images themselves. On these boards, people aren't really talking about how messed up they are, but instead writing fan fiction and speculating what the girl's life was and is now going to be after these incidents. But where did this dark inspiration come from? To truly grasp the context, we need to look back at the art scene in 1930s Tokyo. This period saw a rise in counterculture movements across the board, one known as the erotic grotesque nonsense. This movement, combined with the eroticism and grotesque and often shocking imagery, was a form of rebellion against social norms, similar to any form of punk culture or even rock culture. No war, peace, man, sort of stick. It was just a form of protest, and more often than not, forms of protest turn into things that are worse. So the real question is, how does a movement from so long ago affect current day? Digital art has come an insanely long way since then, but there is one thing: the West has accepted Eastern media far more abundantly than it has in the past. And the direct answer lies in the community of online art platform images. Things like Tumblr, but in the East. Sites like Damburu and Pixfix. These websites were used as echo chambers and for people to find common cause in their exploitation of art. It became a comfortable little den for these explicit style of artists, exploring their art, even though it's sometimes incredibly up. These sites were really well developed, at least for a community board. It's nothing like a YouTube algorithm, but it's pretty good. It doesn't have any form of search algorithm, but it has a very intuitive tagging system, making it easy to find extremely specific and niche content. This allowed for each community of like-minded individuals to even condense further and share and consume art handcrafted to their exact fetishes. So why create such a disturbing piece of art? According to the artist himself, the inspiration came from when a local girl got hit by a truck and lost many of her limbs. This is a tragic thing to happen to someone. Horrible. It's a tragedy. The artist said he would never go visit the person because he would probably just say something shitty to her. So instead, he used her as inspiration to draw his next piece. This piece had the themes of, you guessed it, helplessness and despair. Now, that's the reason why I don't want to mention this guy's name. There's a chance that someone might know her or him or might be able to make that connection, and that is not something that I want any part in. Now, the image itself, no one can deny, it genuinely is extremely detailed. Painstakingly so. From the sterile hospital bed to the bandages covering the girl's stumps, the artist does capture a sense of vulnerability and fragility, making the viewer feel a mix of pity and discomfort, one would think. As I said, the image is from 2009 and it simmered. It stayed below the waves and did not re-emerge for quite some time, until it resurfaced, as I said, in the West. And once again, it came back up on these dodgy forums. 4chan, ever heard of it? It came back up on 4chan in 2014. From there, it spread to our basic social medias, thus becoming a meme. As I described earlier, I don't get my coffee. This is literally me. However, this is only, as I said, on the everyman's social media apps. When it hit social media like Reddit and Tumblr, things were different. Some genuinely found it disgusting, but others found it alluring. I don't really need to describe why a helpless, cute anime girl might not be the thing you want to find alluring, for obvious reasons. I know the girl's age isn't explicitly said, but but that doesn't change how it was received and perceived, which we can see by the array of underage art on Tumblr. I don't need to tell you why this is ethically wrong, but that's all I can really say about it, because I can't do crap about it. I just find it a little icky and a little bit distasteful why the work was created in the first place. Taking the spare that isn't even yours and for it to blow up in the world like this is something I just hate. Despite this, I can't say that it isn't popular, that it didn't blow up, that it isn't topical. It's a piece of art with deep roots in, I guess, historical movements, and has transcended time, I suppose, because it's now re-emerging and influencing art in the modern day. But let me know what you think in the comments. I know this might be a divisive subject, and there's very little information, to be honest, about it. It's just massive right now for some reason. Not gonna lie, the only reason I touched this video is because I saw it on Google Trends, and then when I read into it, it upset me a little. So all I know is that I don't want to see that crap on my Twitter timeline ever again.